Hi, so this is, this is Ruthie from the future. I filmed that whole video twice because my audio didn't really record. So, this is the quality of audio you're gonna get for the rest of the video. I have been working with some audio issues for a while. Hopefully, it gets fixed very soon. Bye!
What's up, my fellow frilly folk? It is I, the Bard in Bows, and since I'm turning 30 this year, there's something that I've been meaning to talk about. Am I too old for Lolita? The answer's no, but let's get into the details as to why the answer's no. So there are two sort of camps that I like to put this answer in. One is the rational reasoning behind it, and the other is more the psychological reasoning behind it. The first is the rational reasoning. Lolita is a very, very expensive hobby. Because of its outward appearance, because of how feminine it is, a lot of people who don't know what Lolita is, they age you down when they see you in something like Sweet Lolita or something like that. And so there is that urge to give yourself a deadline, especially when you're older. For example, when I seriously started to get into Lolita, I was about 25, 26, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for 5 years, and once I hit 30, like, I'm gonna have a career, I'm gonna be a serious woman, and that's it. I'm gonna sell my wardrobe. I'm not gonna be a Lolita anymore. So you can guess how well that worked. It didn't. We have this urge, especially those of us who have a lot of ambition, to be seen as serious, to be taken seriously. You know, when you're born and socialized as someone who's queer, or if you're like a cis woman, there are cards that are already stacked against you as far as people in whatever career path you're picking generally not taking most women seriously. That's a whole other video, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about that kind of internalized, I must be taken seriously at all times. And that can be really damaging when you're trying to do something as frivolous as Lolita, because it is frivolous, it's a luxury, it's utter just like fun. And so with that in mind, the idea of like, well, I'll do this for 5 years and then I'll just have an end, like I'll have a finish line, is so dumb because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of investment. Lolita has always been about investment. For the sake of these expectations that don't even really exist anymore, or at least not as bad as like they used to, it doesn't really make much sense for you to deprive yourself of something that you put so much time and energy and love into when you hit a certain number. You know, and it's definitely something that I have struggled with, because I'm getting older. It's something that a lot of older Lolitas have struggled with, but honestly, at a certain point, you stop giving a So, my lesson to you is to just stop giving a and if you have the means and the funds and the time and the energy, just don't sell your wardrobe, just keep doing it, please. We need a little happiness in our life these days. Now the second sort of camp of like, no, you're not too old for Lolita, is one that's a little darker. I'm in a few different alternative sort of lifestyle groups? Communities? Yeah, communities. I was a goth for a long time. I'm part of the SCA. I do like reenactment stuff. I do obviously Lolita. I was into cosplay for a while. And forgive me if this is an overgeneralization, but in my experience, a lot of people who gravitate towards more alternative lifestyles and hobbies tend to have trauma? This is not to say that like you need to have trauma in order to enjoy these things. You clearly don't. But I know for me specifically, like, not to bring the room down, I didn't have the safest childhood. I was raised by people who didn't put my needs before their wants. I was, you know, given a very, I suppose we'll call it utilitarian upbringing, where it got to a point where I was very nervous to ask for anything that was beyond what was needed to survive. Anything that was extra, anything that was frivolous, anything that was like too much money. I was too afraid to even ask for it. When I first went into community college, like, it was so bad that I couldn't even ask for money for textbooks. Like, I would actually just go to the library and I would Photoshop textbooks in order to do my work. Like, that's how serious I was about not spending any extra money, which is why I liked cosplay, because I could save up my lunch money, go to a thrift shop, and for 20 bucks, like, have an outfit. Getting older and fortunately being in a better place has allowed me to indulge in things that I normally wouldn't have been allowed to indulge in. And it's really freeing, and it's really fun, and it fulfills this need that I didn't understand that I had, because I was essentially like starved for it for so long. By allowing yourself to think in the confines of, when I hit this age, I am no longer a Lolita. When I hit this age, I'm gonna give it up. It can be a little damaging for people who have dealt with not the greatest situations growing up. Fortunately, like me personally, I'm in a much better place now. A lot of my friends who have dealt with very similar issues are also in better places. And in many ways, this silly princess dress hobby has been healing. When you go through trauma and abuse and stuff like that, you have to do therapy, you have to do healing, you have to not only deal with the issues that were thrust upon you by other people, but you also have to do a lot of self-growth and a lot of work internally. And Lolita's been able to help with that. It's been able to help because I basically have given myself freedom to waste money. And I know that not everybody has that opportunity, and I know that people probably don't have the same experience as me. Not everybody does. If something doesn't hurt anyone, doesn't bankrupt you, makes you happy, and in many cases can help you, like emotionally or psychologically, who gives a f? Who gives a f if you're like 80? Get the dress, get it, wear it, have fun, wear a blouse, but have fun. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. I'm so sorry that my schedule is all over the place. I'm bad at things, but I'm gonna try and get this video out. Remember, I do have some books available for ebook. They are going to be linked down below if you are interested in purchasing them and supporting a local, small-time queer author. And that'll do it. So, ciao!